Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to VidaneTV. Man, it's been a long time since I've said that. It's been about a month or so since we did that Jennerstown Rain Out show, but it's been a long time since we've seen cars/trucks on track here for the NEP series. Thank you so much for joining us here on a Thursday night. We are kicking off Season 6. Count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here for the NEP iRacing series. Doing a little bit different. We're kicking off things with the Super Truck series. We haven't seen these trucks on track here, Aaron, in a couple of years. We saw them throughout the COVID with the Super Truck Team Series, and it really kind of showed us a different aspect of a lot of these drivers here.
As a matter of fact, I've never really seen them. I think I witnessed a couple during the COVID time, just watching on YouTube, and which we're on right now, and Facebook, and all those kinds of things. But I haven't been able to announce a truck race yet, so we're pretty excited. But getting into things, it kind of looks like we're picking up where we left off with some of the usual suspects up front.
Indeed, we are. Just got done with qualifying. You can see Kenny Kibbe, John Peters, no strangers to the front row. John Peters going to get the pole with a 29.898. Kenny Kibbe right on his outside. 3/1000ths of a second in behind him.
Yeah, that's close right there. Then we got Canada's Brent Roy starting inside row 2. And look at that, the defending NEP champ, Steve Daddio, starting 4th.
Brandon Newhouse in that 3YRD machine going to round out the top 5 with Johnny Miller in the 6 car running off P6.
And then in row 4, Keith Lord doing a lot of spotting this year, but he's back in the truck starting 7th. And one of last year's top rookies, Jeffrey Bradway, starting 8th. Great qualifying run for the New Englander.
Got to meet Keith and Brent up in Canada at 660 this past couple of weeks ago. A lot of fun up there. Great hospitality for those folks. 27 drivers here on the docket here this evening as the pace car getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn. You can see the rest of the drivers up on your screen. Dale Glessner, Corey Casagrande rounding out the top 10. And there goes the pace truck. He's already down and away. He's down in the safety of pit road. He wants that corn dog. He wants that Coke. And he wants to kick off Season 6 here with the NEP Series because they are down and away, and we are green.
That's going to mix us up for a little bit with the pace car and a field of trucks. Hopefully we don't have to put too much in the jar. But the 09 truck right now, John Peters trying to use that inside line, which isn't the strong line here at Darlington. Trying to get the lead, but it's Kenny Kibbe getting out front on the opening lap of 50.
Always cool to see these drivers in the truck series because you can bet they took their real-life paint schemes and they brought it over to the truck series. There you can see the Flow Racing Camry Kid number 26, Brent Roy running in the 4th position. Top 5 trucks have tucked in line and they pulled away just a little bit. They're about a half a second over Keith Lord and company back there in 6th on back.
I'm liking that scheme right there in the middle of the front 5. Steve Daddio kind of brings back a little bit of, I don't know, some Roush racing memories, even though it's a Chevy. But it kind of has, the white, red, and black kind of scheme. I like that, the way that 99 pops right now. But we got up front Kenny Kibbe and John Peters. Not much changes to the looks of those vehicles, except they're trucks now, then, except for instead of cars. And look at John Peters trying to go inside, but he's going to get loose. He's going to have to save it. He's going to lose a few positions there.
Going to drop all the way back to 50. You can see there's that gap all the way back to Keith Lord. He's got a great spot to spot that. A rare mistake out of the 09 truck from John Peters, but a fantastic stave, able to hold on to it. Going to slide back a few positions from that second spot. There you can see Steve Daddio. He's kind of gathered his thoughts back up. He's going to try and get down on the bottom side of Brandon Newhouse in that 3 truck. How about that paint scheme on the 3? Look at that this year.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet too. And I know we've seen some of kind of like Dale Jr. throwbacks and things like that in the past. But that is one unique scheme, and I know Brandon's been hard at work designing a lot of different schemes here and liveries, if you choose to call them that. But yeah, looks great right there, and he's doing a great job right now battling for 3rd with Daddio.
Daddio down on the bottom side. Newhouse up on the high side of the racetrack, all the way up on the top shelf where Grandma hides the cookies. And you can see a couple of drivers moving on up towards that outside wall to get a little bit of extra grip up on that high side. And I talked to a lot of these drivers and kind of listened in on some of the driver track. You can see the great series banners on top of all of these trucks all the way around the racetrack. Very cool to see there. And there's another great shot of that 3 truck. But we talked to some of these drivers before the race, and Racing here is a bit difficult here at Darlington with these trucks. Very tight, very tough to pass. And the trucks rather have to slow way down, kind of getting in to the corners here. So some of the drivers kind of complaining about the driving style with these trucks, but the other side of the coin was, well, if we can drive these, we can pretty much drive anything. And you can see John Peters, a great recovery back up to the tail end of those top fives. We'll take a peek at some of these cats back here. There you see Keith Lord, Jeffrey Bradway leading the pack here, the second pack. Johnny Miller, Corey Casagrande kind of duking it out there for 8th and 9th. And Dale Glessner backed out almost by himself there, rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, we're getting a look at some of these different paint schemes. We're going to have to familiarize ourselves. Luckily, most of them have kept the same truck numbers, and so then we can kind of keep tabs on everyone the same way as we have before. And whoa, that was a little bit of interesting. I think that was Corey Casagrande in front that almost nudged that wall. But here we see the number 24, Austin Belke, a different paint scheme for him this year. Ryan Messer looking a bit different in that number 1. Of course, I don't know if, I mean, some of these, they might not, it's preseason Thunder, so we might have some test paint schemes, going on right now. But there you see Arsal. We see him every week during the regular season. I'm sure we will once again, and he's going to provide us some great stats as usual in that number 12. Currently running in the 16th spot. No, things getting a little interesting there on the backstretch.
A little bit spicy there for the 21 truck of Eric Kern, holding on to it. Oh, truck into the outside wall. It's going to be the 78, I believe, of Mike Hopkins. Indeed, it is. That Toyota getting up into the outside there. How about that safe flight scheme for the 78? It's a good-looking truck for Mike Hopkins.
Yeah, definitely looking pretty good. I know we've seen a safe flight on the Ryan Messer rides in the past. So, yeah, 78 running real well. I know Mike's run some races in the limited late model at Stafford this year. So now he's getting back to doing the iRacing thing. Maybe we'll have a little bit better luck this season. A lot of dicing going on here, mid to rear of the pack. And here we see kind of Ryan Messer's looking at it all through his front windshield. And there we have it. Corey Casagrande is around. 10 laps in, we've got our first yellow as the number 7 CT is around. And that's kind of reminiscent of the Jeff Bodine, Dave Rezende's early QVC days. He might have to go on QVC and buy some spare parts here.
And we'll have to make sure, honestly, we probably don't have to make sure Ryan Sell knows anything. We're going to let everybody know that the very first caution flag here for the U-House Racing Designs instant replay came out for none other than the 7CT of Corey Casagrande. We're going to take a look at that U-House Racing Designs instant replay, take a look at what exactly went down. Big time shout out here for YRD for jumping on board and sponsoring the instant replay once again here. I believe it's 3 seasons running now for the YRD group. So big time shout out to those guys. We'll take a peek. There's a little bit of contact there. You see the upper to the outside wall, checks up a bit, gets a little bit of a shove from Libby and down and around. And man, oh man, this is going to get some action down on pit road. There you see it. Everybody's down there at this point. Going to get some tires and some fuel. Make sure these guys are ready to go here for the finish. Brandon Uhouse, Dale Glessner, the only 2 drivers to stay out. Looks like Adam Henry is going to drive on around as well. Everybody else, though, being led by John Peters. You can see the pole sitter down on pit road. Looks like we got at least some 2-tire stops, but I think we're going to see a lot of 4-tire stops here, Aaron.
Yeah, I think so, too. We saw a pre-race in the analysis that we had that some of these drivers, I mean, at a max, you could make it about 45 laps on fuel. So you were going to have to pit at some point. So I'm partly convinced that this might be the only pit stop you see. Although Darlington does wear out those tires, they are given 2 sets. So if we do get another yellow flag at an opportune time, maybe we'll see them come back in. Otherwise, I think everyone that's pitted so far is going to be kind of trying to conserve here once we go back to green and see what they can do when it gets to time to go for the victory. Of course, I could be completely wrong, so who knows? But we had 3 drivers stay out, so it's going to be an interesting restart for sure.
A little bit of damage on some of these trucks towards the back. There you see Mike Hopkins coming off pit road, going to rejoin the field. P25, Brian Ship, Corey Casagrande, Jeff Brown, and Garrett Benson, all with extended pit stops down on pit road, looking like we are lining them up 2 by 2. And this is going to be interesting, Aaron, because we've seen some fuel mileage races kind of kick themselves in throughout the past 6 years or 5 or 6 years here in NEP. And well, tonight might not be any kind of difference. 3 drivers up top. You can bet they are up there clutching in, holding in that clutch pedal, trying to save all the fuel that they possibly can and hoping that this thing doesn't go for a green, white checkered. Brandon Newhouse, Dale Gless, they're going to restart P1 and 2. Adam Henry staying back, not having the night he wanted, but he's going to try and pick up some track position. Stayed out, gained 22 spots as everybody else came down pit road. Lights are off of the iRacing. I guess we are still in the pace car, which I think was one of the deals that that kind of jacked me up last year, because we used the truck for the cars and the cars for the truck. But in any sense, the safety car going down to the safety of pit road, going to grab that corn dog and Coke, and we're going to take that green flag once again to kick things off for lap number 14 here at Darlington.
Yeah, we're going to see if the tires, and it looked like Henry kind of did spin those tires a little bit, and a couple drivers already working their way by that 62 car. That's one of the things I was really thinking about there as we went back to green. How long can these drivers that are up front stay up front? Unfortunately, Henry's getting shuffled pretty far back already. Uhouse and Glessner, I believe, are still up front for the time being, but a lot of jockeying for position going on here. I don't know if we've seen our only yellow flag of the day, but there you see Evan Bollier in the 56. First time we've seen him so far. I haven't seen the updated point standings, but I believe he's the point leader still in the Granite State Pro Stock Series. So he's got some real racing still to do before we can go full on iRacing for the season. Luckily, we've got another month for that. But Evan's doing a good job right now, running in the top 10 for the first time tonight.
Yeah, he's gained himself 9 spots on the evening here, and other than Adam Henry, who's starting to lose some of those spots from staying out. You can see up to the outside wall there at the top of your screen, that black and yellow truck having a couple of issues. But Evan Bollier, 9 spots gained, hit right in behind him, Ryan Messer. Got to meet him up at Speedway 660 north of the wall just a few weeks ago. Had himself a solid podium finish. I believe he got a heat race win there as well. A lot of VidaneTV drivers up there at Speedway 660 coming in with heat race wins and podiums, and heck of a time up there. Got to hang out with Brent Roy and Denver Matchett and all those guys up there, and got to give a shout out to everybody that was hanging out. I told them we were going to be doing this iRacing deal here once it started to get just a little bit cooler, and we are knocking the dust off just like these drivers here are. We take a look back in the lead, and well, it's kind of the same story the past 5 seasons. Kibbe and Peters up in the top of this chart here in 1 and 2.
Yeah, definitely not something we haven't seen before. And John Peters has really recovered from that little bobble earlier, but now that he knows what that car could do, what that truck does on the inside line, he probably knows a little better what strategy he's gonna have to take here to try and get by Kenny Kibbe. He might have to kind of peek on the outside and see if Kibbe kind of falters at any time. But we know that someone like Kenny Kibbe, it's not very often that we see someone falter like that, although he left just a little bit of room there on the outside.
And that's one of the cool things here about Darlington Raceway. There's about 27 different lines you can take around this racetrack, from all the way up to the wall, all the way down to, well, the other wall down on the inside. We'll take a look here. Oh, caution flag comes out. Scott McDonald pointed in the wrong direction there. You see him in that 44 truck, able to grab a gear, get going. A little bit of damage there on the right front nose, and that's going to give us an opportunity once again to take a peek at that Uhouse Racing Designs instant replay.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it here. Ooh, I like that, a new effect. But here we see what happened. It looks like they were just closing on Arsal there pretty quickly. I don't know if something happened to him there going into the corner. But yeah, it's just one of those things where it was a chain reaction from the looks of it. McDonald got on the brakes a little quicker than some of the other drivers behind him. NEP rookie Eric Kern involved. Yeah, there you have it right there. Not too much damage though. Scott was able to woe it down there and not get into the inside wall. So good news there for the 44 car, the NEP stalwart. And we'll all continue and get going here for the next restart here momentarily.
Yeah, just kind of pushing in some of the sheet metal around these virtual race trucks. No real big hits, luckily there. Brandon Newhouse going to give up some track position, going to come down on a pit road, as well as Dale Glessner, Zane Farrell going to come down here. First time we've talked about him all evening long, and going to give these guys kind of an opportunity to work on the trucks a little bit. There you see coming in just a little bit hot for the 44 truck. He's got some damage. He's going to restart towards the back, so may as well come down and get some of that damage repaired, and that's going to be one of the things that we have to focus in on throughout the season. No quick repairs here throughout the season, so these guys are going to have to come down pit road, get the virtual hammers out, and bang on some of the sheet metal to get it sorted out. And there's probably about 10 or so, maybe a dozen drivers down on pit road. You can see being led by Corey Casagrande in the 7CT, and the 10 Dale Glessner just grabbing 2 tires and scooting on away.
Yeah, it looks like some different strategies going on. It looks like approximately half the field came in. This will be interesting because that top half of the field that is staying out, they're going to be on tires that they're not too much older. It's about 9 laps older, but if they decide not to come in the rest of the distance, these guys are going to have a little bit fresher rubber when it gets down to crunch time. So we'll see what happens here. We've already pointed out that it's hard to pass, but if you're on fresher tires compared to older tires, it might be a little bit better to get that rhythm and the momentum to make a pass successfully here once we're back under green. As we approach, we're getting close to halfway.
Indeed, we are just a handful of laps away. You can see the lights on the pace car still on here at this point. We'll take this opportunity, see if we can't maybe dial up one of the drivers here for the first time this season. We'll see if we can get in touch with that the highest running Canadian in the field here so far. Running P3, Brent Roy, Paul Strickland up in the booth. You got a copy?
Good copy, Paul. How's it going?
Good, man. Good. Got to hang up at Speedway 660 here a couple of weeks ago. Put on a heck of a show. Putting on a heck of a show here tonight. Coming up to the halfway marker. What do you got to get around this? What do you have to do to get around Kibby and Peters here?
I think we're just hanging out back here. Me and Daddy-O are just chilling out back here, 3rd and 4th, and hopefully, I mean, John and Kenny always run each other pretty good, but you know, never know. Maybe they'll get together again and we can scoot on by. I don't know. They got some pretty good pace, but we're just trying to save some stuff for the end.
Good looking Flow Racing Camry here. Camry. Yep. Tundra.
I got the Tundra this year.
Tundra. We'll figure it out. We got a jar going. Cars, trucks, the difference, all that good stuff.
We got all the 229 guys and Toyotas this year, so it should be pretty good.
Answered my next question. Who's out there watching? Anybody you want to give a shout out to while we're probably coming to the green here in just a couple of laps?
Yeah, we're gonna get the one to go here. Just give a shout out to my family. They always tune in and watch, and all the supporters of 229 Autosport. We got the 09 and the 26 up here, the 6, the 9, the 56, and the 81 sitting at home working on his real race cars. So to give a shout out to all our fans.
Best time of the year. Brent Roy running P3. Time to go back to work. Lights are off. Good luck, bud.
Thanks, bud.
229 Autosports, Brent Roy, the number 26. I guess we call him the Tundra Kid now for this season, right?
Yeah, I guess so. We're gonna have to change some verbiage as we go along, and we'll wing it as we usually do. But we got half a lap left. Yeah, and what's interesting to me here is that Kibby is restarting on the inside. Peter's on the outside. Now Kibby's really going to have his work cut out for him. Maybe that's what he chose, just based on the way his truck runs better. But we saw it at the initial start of this race, where Peters started from the pole and was on the inside and couldn't get that lead into turn 1. So it's going to be a race towards turn 1 right here.
Indeed, it is. Lights are out. We're 2x2. 27 started, 25 trucks still on the field, 1 lap away from that halfway marker. We are green here once again at Darlington, and you can see Kenny Kibby gets a great shot. He gets the ability to kind of pull away by a couple of truck lengths, and there you can see drivers trying to do everything they can to get up into that outside wall. Front 10, maybe 12 trucks or so, about single file as they snake down the back straightaway.
And that kind of ruined my theory with that great restart that Kibby got there. He was out front before they even got towards turn 1. But Peters files into second, and look at Steven Daddy-O. He quietly snuck up there into third there on the restart, and he's going to now kind of look to these front 2. Your 3 NEP champions in the past running 1, 2, 3. How about that? Evan Boyer up to 6th, though, not far behind. Watch out for him as well. Ryan Libby in the top 10 for the first time. We got a lot of competitors that that we're used to seeing that are working their way up towards the front.
As they run right now, Kibbe and Peters and Daddio, the top 3. Brent Roy sliding on back to 4th. Jeffrey Bradway rounding out the top 5. Evan Boyer, Ryan Libby, Keith Lord, Ryan Messer, and Johnny Miller rounding out the top 10. Little side-by-side action for 9th. Messer in that 1 truck going to make easy work of John Miller. Going to get around that 6th truck, and now he's going to set his sights now on the 46. And just taking a peek here at the stats, looking like that 1 truck is going to be the biggest mover so far here tonight. Nope, just kidding. Evan Boyer is with 56 truck. He's up 13 spots. Messer's up 12, currently running in the 8th position. And Bobby Ship back here in the 04 truck having himself a solid run. There you can see kind of all by himself right now. He's gained 12 spots running P14. Oh, look at this. Little 3 wide action in behind. The 77 going to pull off. That's going to be Garrett Benson. Looks like he's just going to pull down on the bottom side of the track. There's Brandon Newhouse right up in front. Getting loose, still loose. That 3 truck holding on to it. Doing a little bit of ice skating down to the bottom side. Loose again. No, he overcorrects again. That 3 truck is around. Yellow flag going to fly here in the second half of this one.
Yeah, there had to have been something going wrong with that 3 car, but you can tell how much, I mean, we saw it with Peters earlier when he had to save it, and just how much momentum you lose here big time at Darlington, even if you do save it. Unfortunately, Newhouse did not and backed it into the inside wall just a touch. But I think he'll be able to continue, and we'll see how it goes.
And this is one of those deals. We'll take a look at the blimp. There's that 3 wide action. Corey Casagrande going up the middle there. 77 wanted to check up down on the bottom side. Everything looks good there. And I think just because there was so much going on there, really hard for the 3 truck to kind of focus. And this is a spot that you cannot lose your focus at. And man, oh man, pit stops once again. We talked about it a couple of times here tonight, but it looks like most of the field, Aaron, coming back down once again.
Well, yes, since we have the opportunity, why not, right? And but this is, if they're taking on 4 tires, I think that's the last set that they have, so they're going to have to make these cars go these last 20 or so laps when we go back to green. So that's going to be interesting then when we get down to the last few laps. But right now, it's going to be a race off pit road. We'll see who comes out first.
10 or so, maybe 11 cars staying out on track. Everybody else coming down to pit road.
Trucks, Paul.
Trucks, that's right, trucks. We're going to have to get an actual jar here, because I'm going to be doing that probably about up until we run the championship season here. But there you can see everybody down on the way in these trucks, the super trucks, the NEP super trucks. Daddio having a quick stop, Kibbe as well, Peters, Brent, all coming out in line. But they're going to be chasing about 10 trucks that have not come down pit road here this time. And there you can see the new leader, Keith Lord, in the 17 truck. He's got the best spot to kind of spot the leaders up front.
Yeah, this will be interesting with some of these drivers staying out. Keith Lord, he's been in the top 10 pretty much the entire race, so he's not going to be any slouch to get around here. First that we're talking about him, he's up to 4th now, is Zane Farrell. So he's doing a good job in that unsponsored number 14 this year. We'll see what he can do in that white machine and get to the front potentially. And I can't remember, has Zane won an NEP race? I know he's come close many times.
Let's ask him. We can do booth to truck communications here. We'll see if we can dial up old Zane in the 14 truck. Zane, Paul Strickland up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yep, got you loud and clear.
Well, first off, how's the truck? Notice you stayed out on that pit stop. Going to restart P4 here. Give it to us straight. You got anything to win this thing?
Hell no. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing here.
It's going to be entertaining for sure, the final 20 laps or so. Me and Aaron are going back and forth in the booth here. Have you won an NEP race in the past 5 seasons?
1 race at Kansas. And I stayed out all race and took my tires, I think, with like 15 to go. And I think we marched to the field and won on the last lap.
Well, we're definitely not in Kansas here, Toto. Who's out there watching, Zane? Who's making it happen here for the 14 truck?
Me, myself, and I.
That's what it's all
As you can see.
That's what it's all about here. Going to kick you back on down. Zane Farrell going to restart in the 4th position. Cold tires on that 14. We'll see what happens. Good luck, Zane.
Thanks, buddy.
Going to kick him back down into, I believe, the team chat that he came from. He's going to work with the Icon guys, whether he likes it or not, though. Zane Farrell having a solid run here tonight. Going to gamble just a little bit, and Aaron, I'm not very much of a racer myself. I'm very slow. I'm much better at running my mouth than I am with the race cars. But anytime I was at Darlington, I always came down pit road for at least 8 tires.
Yeah, and so you were probably right about that when we were talking about that. I was saying, some of these guys might stay out, but with all these yellows, why not come in? I mean, you're not losing a ton of track position if it's not a green flag pit stop. So, yeah, come down for some new sneakers if you can. But now these guys are going to have to make these last 20 laps. So we'll see what happens. We're getting ready to go back to green here in less than half a lap.
Lining them up 2 by 2 all the way through. That non-manufacturer specific iRacing pace car going to come down the safety of pit road. Showtime, Paul Strickland Jr., Aaron, Aaron Creed up in the broadcast booth here for you. Little bit of preseason thunder, easy enough for me to say, here for the NEP series, kicking things off with a bang for season 6. We're going to be at Daytona in a moment's notice for the X-Lander duels. That's going to be a whole lot of fun, and we are going to be down and away with the season, just like we are down and away with this one. The green flag is out once again. Great restart there for Lord. And how about that 14 truck? Has no idea what the hell he's doing. He's running P2 right now, Aaron.
Yeah, I think that's usually when he says that, he runs well. So, but he's really pouncing on the 17 right here, potentially trying to lead some laps. It's just preseason, no points. So why not go all out? You got another month to fix these trucks before we go to Daytona. And go all out for these last 20 laps.
Absolutely. Gives these drivers something to kind of test out for the regular season. Not very used to running these trucks. We ran them in the team deal a few years ago, but changing things up. As you can see, we're snaking down the back straightaway. Everybody trying to dip out and get a little bit of the virtual air in the iRacing trucks here. Pair of Toyotas, 1 and 2. Johnny Miller back there in the 6th truck running in 3rd. Glester Casagrande the top 5. And I don't want to call it a great recovery, but man, it's been a great recovery for that 7 CT truck so far as he loses a spot to Kibbe, and he had himself a little bit of wall action earlier on. How about some wall action there? We were 3 wide for a second with Hopkins up to the outside wall, gives it a scuff, gives down, and looks like Brent Roy got a little piece of the action as well, going to slide back up, but 17 laps to go. These guys are getting ready to put on a show here for us on VidaneTV.
Yeah, lots of shuffling going on with a lot of the early leaders pitting there and being outside the top 10. They're trying to find their way back up front because 16 laps to go, that sounds like it's a decent amount of time. It really isn't if we go green the rest of the way. So these guys are going to have to keep it up and keep on moving forward. Wow, Ryan Messer got a little loose there, and actually it was probably the right move there because it got him around Mike Hopkins, who was a little out of shape as well.
Scott McDonald ran up front a little bit earlier on, and this one he's got Bollier in behind him. A couple of drivers we saw up front. There's Jason Ricker in the 9 truck. Haven't seen him all evening long, but man, oh man, just kind of mixed and matched throughout the field as we take a look. There's Belke and Salvatore. Haven't mentioned Sal all evening long. Hooked us up with some pre-race notes here as he does, and great to have our Sal TV back on board here with us at VidaneTV, hooking us up with all the pre-race stats, making us look smart and looking it up so we don't have to. And there you see Kern in the 62 truck, Kern's up top in the 21 truck. The 62 is going to be Adam Henry down on the bottom side. He's gained 10 spots from where he run. A little onboard action with Mike Hopkins. He's having a solid run too. P14, he's gained 12 spots. He's going to be one of the guinea pigs early on this season here at Daytona that's going to be running our in-car cameras. That's right, folks. In-car cameras coming to you from VidaneTV. Ooh, truck into the outside wall. I believe that's Bollier. It is indeed. We stay green. But man, oh man, that 56 truck looks like it's been pancaked in on that right side.
Yeah, that's going to hurt here at Darlington. And maybe not so much with Carr around and a yellow flag coming out to bunch up the field. But Corey Casagrande, is that Corey? Past the driver's side into the wall there. He's going to loop it back around, though, and keep going. But that front end is batched in.
That's it. I'm not mentioning any of the drivers by name anymore. little commentary curves for the 7 CT. Finds himself pointed in the wrong direction from the 5th position. Going to come down pit road and actually going to call for the tow truck. Casagrande may be Dunsky for the evening. But we'll take a peek here at the YRD instant replay. You can see all by his lonesome here. Gets into the corner. looks like he might have checked up for a little bit of an incident up in front. Everything looking A-okay. And you can see just kind of looking off into the distance, comes on down in. I don't believe there was any contact. Gets down to the bottom side. There's a little bit of contact. Yeah, there was contact. 13 getting a piece of the action. There you see Mike Hopkins doing a great job getting down and away. Everybody else going down to the low side of the racetrack. So tough break for Casagrande. You can see he's going to be down on pit road trying to get maybe get that thing worked on. But with 12 laps to go here in this one, preseason might be done for the evening. And well, here we go again. Pit stops once again, half a dozen or so coming down pit road. Steve Daddio going to stay out and take over the lead. Everybody else following Zane Farrell down pit road to see what they can do with these trucks.
Yeah, those drivers decide to come back in and give up that track position. And interesting strategy here. They're going to have a few laps fresher tires, actually probably about 10 laps fresher tires, as we had a pretty lengthy green flag run there. So once again, the whole tire game going to come into play potentially as we get down inside 10 laps to go when we go back to green. Some of the front runners from earlier are going to be back up front, but kind of in a jumbled order. So a lot going on here as we continue on here at Darlington.
56 truck of Boley are going to beat everybody out the exit of pit road there. Going to rejoin the field there in 12th. Everybody 12th on back came down pit road for one thing or another. There's still a couple of drivers that have some extended damage that it appears to be working on. Everybody else looks to be rolling there. You can see, I believe that's a 6 back there. Pardon me, of Johnny Miller, Mike Hopkins having some damage as well. In the 78 truck, he was having a solid run. Corey Casagrande wrecking from the top 5 earlier on. That's a tough break for him. But back up front, well, the champ's here. Steve Daddio up front in the 99 truck, leading this one with 10 laps to go once we get to the line.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what goes on here. We got defending champ Steve Daddio up front. Ryan Libby, best he's been running, in second. John Peters now third. Brent Roy fourth. And Kenny Kibbe, he's going to have to come from fifth now to get back to the lead. And he's going to have a host of drivers behind him, too, that are going to be hungry to crack that top 5.
Evan Bollier in the 56 truck back down on pit road. Going to get a little bit more service to that machine. And we are still hooked up behind the pace car here. Lights are on at a lap or two to give these drivers an opportunity to gather their thoughts and figure out what the game plan is here for the final 10 laps of this one. Little preseason thunder here at Darlington.
Yeah, it looks like this time by, let's see what the decision is, actually. It looks like we're going to stay single file for another lap. Maybe not. Are we? Are we not, Paul?
It looks like we
file.
are.
We're going to stay single file for another lap. Pace car's going to have to wait yet another lap to go grab some. He's not grabbing hot dog. He's going to grab some cookout. See that plastered all over the track, and I don't know if you've had a chance to try out cookout yet, but
I
it's
like
worth
me some cookout. Absolutely, hanging out
down
in North Kakalaki with Mr. Penguin in Chief Tony Stevens introduced me to cookout as they sponsor a lot of events at racetracks throughout the country. Throughout the countries, really. I don't know if they've got cookout up in Canada, but they should. Man, oh man, some quesadilla action, a whole meal for like $12. Cannot go wrong.
Yeah, absolutely not. I was actually out in Colorado back in August, and a gentleman that was on one of the cave tours I went on asked where I was from, and I said North Carolina, and the first thing he said was cookout. So there you go. He was all excited about it. But we're going to go green next time by their double file. I keep thinking we're on the front stretch here. We're on the back stretch, aren't we?
Yeah, Darlington's one of those tracks where it looks the same on both sides.
I always forget that because they got that backstretch pit area as well, which we don't use here, but they do have that still kind of configured. So now the pace car is going to pull down, and we're going back to racing for 8 more laps.
This is going to be wild. Pace car down on pit road. There are 22 drivers on the lead lap. They're all going to take the green flag. There they go. Steve Daddio shot out of the canyon in the 99. Down to the bottom side, John Peters trying to take a peek on the high side. Little bit of a block there in front of the 09 car. The front two get away single file side by side now for third.
How about that restart for both John Peters and Kenny Kibbe? They noticed the 46 didn't get going there right away, and they pounced on that inside line, and they are now into the top 3 and chasing down Steve Daddio. Ryan Libby still holding his own, though, in 4th for now. Ryan Messer and Brent Roy, both the Canadians right there on Libby's tail, though, and we've got another stack them up, and it looks like we're immediately under yellow. Keith Lord and there they finally get Keith Lord and Eric Kern's trucks finally get disconnected thanks to another truck slamming into them. But that was a hard hit. I think Keith Lord might be done for the night after that one.
Yeah, big bada boom for the 17 truck. You can see he gets tagged a couple of times here as we rewind the tapes, and we'll take another look at the U-House Race Designs instant replay and find out what exactly it was that brought out this caution once again. Going to look at it from the blimp, because there's a lot going on there. There's the 17 truck, black and blue on the top of your screen, about a lane or so up from the top side. Everything looks good. Zane gets loose down at the bottom. No harm, no foul. There you see the connection there between the 17 and the 21, and everybody kind of scrambling in behind. So it looked a lot worse than it did. Oh, there's 17. Oh, man, big junk for the 14 of Farrell. That is not how you get some sponsors on that all-white truck.
No, it's definitely not. And well, he did get some TV time though. So
he did get TV time. True.
Yeah, he got a good amount of it. And same with Keith Lord here, both looking for sponsors heading into Daytona. So we'll see what happens when we come back here next month. But right now, those guys are they're going to have to make those whatever kind of repairs they can, and we'll get going again. And doesn't look like we're going to have many takers on pit road anymore. We're inside 10 laps to go. Actually, inside 5 laps to go. We're probably going to have about a 3-lap dash to the finish once we get back going. Quite a few trucks on pit road. I almost said cars. Corey Casagrande, Keith Lord, like we mentioned before, all down pit road right now. So I think we're going to have a little bit less than 22 cars on the lead lap at this point.
A couple of drivers down on pit road in with 5 to go here. Daddio, Peters, Kibbe, Libby, Messer, the top 5 as they run. We got a little bit of time here. Aaron, you want to talk to the champ? You want to dial up the champ?
Which champ are we dialing up?
Let's see if we could dial up Steve Daddio, last season's champion here. Steve Daddio, the 99 truck. Take it away, Aaron.
Steve, leading the way right now, but you got 2 hungry former champions as well behind you. What are you going to have to do here on these last few laps?
I'll be honest with you. This place is pretty slick. It's really just about keeping the truck underneath you, wrapping that bottom out of 4, and getting into 3 the right way. You got a little wiggle room getting into 1 because everybody's kind of sliding, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to use everything I have. Peters is really good here, and then you got Kibbe and Livy right behind him. Wouldn't you know it? So it should be a fun finish.
All right, before we let you go back to racing here in another lap or so, let us know who helps you get. Who's helping you get here this season?
Daddy's Auto Parts, Reverie Brewing out of Newtown, and YRD, the same 3 that have been kind of behind me the last few seasons. Really appreciate the support. The colors look really good on the car this year. Brendan did a really good job on it. I'm so appreciative. It looks fast just sitting still, and I'm glad I can be out front showcasing it a little bit here for him. So.
All right. Well, good luck the rest of the way, and might be talking to you post race.
Thanks, guys.
One of the 4 wide weaponry, say that 5 times fast, truck teammates from back in the Super Trucks seasons that we ran here in NEP. And that was a fun deal, kind of a team points deal. It was an opportunity for these drivers to put on a show by themselves, but also show the teamwork aspect here in racing and in sim racing. So always cool to see. And those guys put on a heck of a show whenever we were running the truck. So 4 to go, 3 to go at the line. We'll probably get that restart with 2 to go. We've got last season's champion up front. Couple of champions in the top 3. John Peters, reigning, defending, three-time series champion, running in second right now. There you see the 09 car going to restart on the outside of the front row. Kibbe and Libby, 6 seasons in, Aaron. Kibbe and Libby are still running side by side. They've been doing it for 6 years now. And Ryan Messer going to round out the top 5. This is going to get interesting.
Yeah, for sure it is. And we're going to see John Peters has the outside line. He's going to need a perfect restart here. Once again, we're on the backstretch, and I was just ready to say we're going green. So they're going to play a little bit of games here. As you can see, they're doing that. But just remember, it's a restart, and Daddio has the lead, so Peters can't beat him to the line. Daddio has to be the one that kind of gets out front there to begin with, but Peters stays right there with him. He might have the advantage going into turn 1 here, so let's see what happens.
Gonna take a look at the drone cam here for the restart. Been doing a lot of real racing stuff over the past 6 months to a year, and man, oh man, the drone shots have been absolutely phenomenal. So the pace car down on pit road. There you see the green flag flying. Barney in the flag stand letting them know it's time to go. 2 laps to go here at Darlington.
And once again, the leader is able to get out front. Daddio's holding them off right now. Look at Ryan. Is that Ryan Libby there in the 46 I see? Oh, boy. And that was Kenny Kibbe still staying out in third with Libby in fourth. And then behind them, they are mixing it up a good bit. And there we see it. Once again, how many green-white checkers do you think we're going to end up having here, Paul? As we're going to go back to yellow once again as Bradway, who had been running there in the back half of the top 10 and that really spiffy-looking number 13 goes around.
Yeah, black smoke coming out of the back of the 13 truck. I believe Mr. Bradway is Dunsky for the evening. A little side-by-side action in between him and Jason Ricker. We'll pop up the U-House Racing Designs instant replay as soon as we push the right button. There we go. Live TV. That's how we do. Take a look at it here. A little side-by-side. The 9's up on the high side. The 13's down low. It looked like the 9 got up into the outside wall. Scuffed it up just a little bit. No harm, no foul. 13 dives on down, and just a little bit of contact coming up over that dashed white line there. You can see the 9 of Ricker able to pull down and away, but the 13 able to get that thing stopped. He does end up grabbing a gear, spinning it on around, but there you see it. Big time problems for that 13 motor. Maybe done for the night. Going to pull down on to the safety of pit road, see if he can get that crew to get a little bit of attention. Jason Ricker going to come down pit road. There you see him in the 9 truck as well. The double 4 is Scott McDonald going to get some service, and Zane Farrell, Keith Lord, Eric Kern still down on pit road, getting themselves worked on just a little bit. So I don't want to call it a war of attrition because we've seen some great racing so far here tonight at Darlington. But we got 15 drivers right now on the lead lap out on track. 3 of them down on pit road here. They have the potential to lose a lap, but still a lot of drivers out there kind of learning themselves the super truck here for the first time this season.
For sure, and this is a great opportunity to do that a month before the season starts, and we'll be getting underway here pretty quickly. Daytona, we got the duels, I believe we start off with. Which weekend is it? Is it the 19th, or am I 1 week off? And then we got the season opener Daytona the following week, and then we kind of go. I think we have an off week right after Daytona, and then we go on for about 3 or 4 straight weeks. So we're going to be getting right into it as the temperatures cool down, and the temperature at the virtual racetrack is going to heat up.
Yeah, it's always fun to kind of bridge the gap, if you were, from the real racing season to the sim racing season, as it were. Lots of stuff going on here at VidaneTV over the next couple of months. A lot of real racing stuff going on here as well. I've been doing some traveling myself, getting around and doing some TV stuff with the real race cars. Lots of cool stuff. Actually, if you've got yourself a smart TV and you've got yourself the MAV TV app, this coming up Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern time, check out the ASA race from Toledo. Your boy right here was in the Turn 1 camera. Those guys put on a heck of a show. Over 20 cars for that ASA race this past weekend. Going to be on MAV TV this Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. Might even have myself a little bit of a viewing party over on Twitch, because I think that's kind of neat, as we've kind of bridged the gap just a little bit from the sim racing world into the real racing world, and entertaining the masses, as it were. That's what we like to do here at VidaneTV, and this is no different. And I'll tell you right now, Aaron, it's going to be a very different looking VidaneTV by the time we come around for those X-Lander duels next month. We got some cool things in the works. Couple of things to kind of spiff up the look just a little bit. Got some neat tricks we've learned out on the road. Some new toys we'll be pulling out of the toy chest, and It is going to be an entertaining season 6 here for the NEP Super Trucks. I can assure you that.
I'm pretty excited to see some of the little upgrades that you've been talking about, and I can't wait till next month to get back going. I know this week was a little bit last minute, trying to get myself even involved this week and study. It's been a heck of a week. We still got lots going on here in the fall time frame right now, but hopefully next month we're going to be prepared a whole lot better, and we're going to be rocking it on the high banks of Daytona. But we still got 2 more laps, maybe, to settle it. I don't think fuel's going to come into play here because they did take that pit stop after halfway. Now, if they all pitted that first 10 laps and then we had those green-white checkers and they hadn't pitted since, it'd be a different story. But we're getting ready to rock one more time at least.
We will find out together. Lined up 2 by 2 all the way through. There you see the 99, the 09 going to take off from the point. Libby and Kibby right on behind them, and a pair of Canadians, Messer and Roy, 5th and 6th. Green flag flies, popsicle sticks once again. Trouble in the middle of the pack. Does the caution flag fly, or do we stay green? The front 4 have separated, single file.
Looks like we're staying green for the time being. Daddy-O was able to get to clear Peters going into turn 1 once again. Peters is looking to find some kind of way. I wouldn't be surprised if Peters makes a last-ditch effort here on the final lap to see. You got nothing to lose here. We're not going for points. This isn't a regular season race. We're not going to be racing at Darlington again. I don't believe the rest of the year. So why not go after it? But I don't know if he's listening to me or not right here. That these are all gentlemen that are up front for sure. So we might not see a whole lot of jockeying. Kibby's going to try to go for it, and I think that's what Daddy-O wants to see in his rearview mirror. Take us home, Paul.
Coming out of turn 4 for the final time. Libby taking a look down low. Kibby rather not quite there. Double Nine's going to finish off with the checkered flag. John Peters going to hold on to 2nd. Kenny Kibby going to finish in 3rd. Ryan Messer and Dale Glessner going to be the top 5 as they cross the stripe, and everybody chasing on down that 99 truck of the winner. He won the season championship last year, and well, he's showing everybody this year that he is not going to be anybody to mess with, because he's good in the in the cars and he's good in the trucks here. The 99 coming into victory lane. We'll take a look at his burnout, and well, the top 3 qualifiers finished up in the top 3, and we're going to see if we can talk to those guys here as we take a look. Daddy-O, Peters, Kibby, the podium there. Ryan Messer, Dale Glessner going to round out the top 5.
Yeah, great run for those drivers, and fortunately, I'm not seeing on my screen the rest of the finishing order, but I do see that we've got Stephen Daddy-O in the room, and there we are. There's 6th through 10th. Brandon Newhouse, Brent Roy, Evan Boyer, John Miller, and Ryan Salvatore. But the big winner, Stephen Daddy-O, we just talked to you, but and you didn't seem entirely confident you were able to hold those 2 off, but you did it.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I figured John was going to be a little tighter there, and I held it down in 3 and 4 and kind of forced his hand. Then he slid up a little bit, and that was pretty much all she wrote. Once we were getting into 1 and 2, I knew if he had to do it there, it just wasn't going to happen. So this feels good. This is great. It's a great start to the season. I know it's just preseason, but it's good to pick up where you left off. The truck felt great. This is a track that really suits my style. You got to save your tires and then turn it on at the end and know where the limits are. And this is a good confidence boost going into the season.
Yeah, definitely some unofficial momentum to go into the new season.
We'll take it. Yep.
Yeah, but going into Daytona, what are you thinking with these trucks at Daytona? Have you been able to study anything yet, or are you going to have to kind of do some research here going into the next within the next month?
I think they have a little less power than the Xfinity cars, so I get aggressive and I like to run the outside kind of by myself and side draft. I don't. You're gonna need help at Daytona. I know you're gonna need help. We've already been kind of talking about it. Strategy. We got to stick together and make sure we get the runs at the right time and push and help and just stay in line when we want to go fast and forward. So just survive the first half and race the second half. We were pretty good there at the end last year, and then I can't believe it. So checked up or lost control out of 4. I still don't think I touched him. I watched the replay 1,000 times. I feel so bad. But that's kind of what we're looking for again. We're just going to keep her straight that time. We'll take her home.
All right, we'll give you one more chance to thank those who to help you get here to Victory Lane, preseason Victory Lane.
Thanks, Dad, for the sponsorship again. Daddy's Auto Parts looks so good on the car. And thank you to my family out there supporting and watching every week. It's so fun to talk about it afterwards. And this is Thursday nights are so good in the winter. So Daddy's Auto Parts, Reverie Brewing, again, having them on the truck. I love having their support. Brewery out of Newtown, if you're in the area, stop by. Good beer. They always have a good food truck on tap. And football Sunday, they just opened a new bar and back, bunch of TVs. Just a cool spot to hang out and spend some time. Brendan, again, US, I don't know if you're still listening, but the truck just looks so sweet. And it looks even better in Victory Lane. So thanks again for the paint. Really, really appreciate it. And all the fans out there watching, thank you guys. It's so cool to talk and hang out afterwards and just BS about some virtual racing. So and you guys in the booth, again, I always watch the broadcast afterwards. You guys make it exciting and just a lot of fun. So thanks, guys.
All right, so congrats again to Steve Daddio. And Paul, I believe you're for their second place finisher.
Indeed, I am going to catch up with the 09 truck, former champion 3 times. John Peter coming home in the second position, a little preseason thunder. How's that truck feel here tonight, John?
Paul, what's happening? Truck was good. Shout out Mackie and Nugget for the extra speed tonight. We just didn't get through traffic quite well enough there, and those couple runs where it started mid-pack to be in the right spot at the end, and had a really fun battle with Steve and Kenny up there. The track was great, super fun. I like the challenge of it. We're all kind of sliding around, can't really see where we're going, and I think that makes for some good racing. So congrats to Steve. He did everything he needed to do there at the end and just came up a little bit short.
Showing you strong here in the trucks as well. Had some great runs back in the team truck deal we had a couple of years ago. What's the main difference between these trucks and what we used to run here in the former years here at NEP?
Well, they're just dull on power, so you have to keep the momentum up and try not to slip tires. Any momentum that you scrub in these things, it just really hurts you. It's actually kind of similar to the late model stock in a way. The Xfinity car, you can be a little bit more aggressive, and if you make a mistake, you can kind of compensate for it in the same corner. But with these, you actually saw it at Darlington here. If you missed the exit of turn 2, you'd really blow your whole lap. You wouldn't have the right entry speed into 3, and just make for a whole different set of corners than you normally have. So I think that's probably most of it. I'm sure tire saving will be important like it traditionally is, but keep the momentum high and try not to slip tires and hope that you can hang on to that speed and not cost yourself too much time.
And speaking of momentum here, John, just taking a look at the old social media outlets here, G&G's gift is rocking and rolling here on the 4th year now, I believe we've had this deal. We're getting ready to kick off things for 2025. How do drivers get involved, and what can we do to help?
Yeah, October 1st on the G&G's gift Facebook page, we'll post applications for this next round of G&G's gifts. So just stay tuned there. We'll do some promotion in the meantime. It's always helpful to just have people spread the word about that. We give applicants 2 months to get their information into us, which is a long time, but we, like everybody else there, we've got a number of people who may see it late or come to us in the last couple of days. So I think it'd be helpful just to get that word out a little bit sooner, and hopefully drivers aren't cramming in their applications as they're at their Thanksgiving dinner table. But other than that, I think we're in a good spot. We're going to do year 4 here coming up, and then we'll do year 5 next year, and that'll wrap the program. But 5 years of giving away $5,000 just to go racing is really awesome, and glad we could do it, and I appreciate people like yourself who have helped us promote it.
Absolutely, just always cool to see the community kind of gathering around itself at the racetrack, whether it's a sim racing track or the real racing track, and we're always proud here at VidaneTV to kind of bridge that gap here. John, always fun to talk to you, always a pleasure. Who's out there watching here for you? Who's going to get this thing in Victory Lane here for you this season?
Well, I hope we can do that soon. I hope the masses like the new color or the new design out there with GNG's gift. But I appreciate everyone who watches and tunes in. You guys for doing it. Thanks again to Mackie and Nugget for the real extra speed. Thanks to my wife for letting me do it. My 2 dogs who have left me alone in this room, but I appreciate them and looking forward to the season.
Absolutely. John, great run here tonight. Congratulations, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys.
And last but not least, going to slide it back on over to AA Ron. There's a good shot of Ryan Messer drifting in the background. We're going to rewind that and watch that in slow motion again because that was neat as you catch up with Mr. P3, Kenny Kibbe in the 4-truck.
Yes, past champions sweep the podium, and Kenny Kibbe third place. All in all, decent night for you.
Yeah, I thought, I knew cautions and strategy was really going to be a factor. And to qualify up front like we did, that was huge. Get the lead, kind of control the race. So I was feeling really good. Knew it was going to be really a heads up duel between John and I. If it was going to go green. And that didn't happen. So then it came down to strategy and getting good restarts and going through the traffic and still felt great about it. And till I got tangled with the 6 truck and I thought my race was over, but luckily didn't have too much damage and stayed out there and had a couple more good restarts and was able to get up there and at least have a shot at it at the end.
Yeah, and you've had some experience with the truck racing in the past year in iRacing. So, what are your thoughts going into Daytona now, and how things are going to shape up next month?
Yeah, I mean, I think Daytona's not really going to be a good gauge on like what the season's going to be like. It's kind of its own deal, but at the same time, like what Steve was saying, we're going to be trying to really work together with our teammates and just really try to be there at the end and then just kind of see how things play out. But for the rest of the season, I think especially like the bigger tracks, it's going to be hard for the fast guys to get away from the pack. Track position's really going to be key. So it's going to be interesting for sure. And I'm glad we have a vehicle change. It's going to change some things up. But to come in here to Darlington and show we still have speed is a good kind of jump start into the season.
Sure did. And who do you have to thank for your third place finish tonight?
Yeah, just like to thank everybody at 4 Wide Weaponry. Teammates working great together as always. Congrats to Steve with the win. And to you guys in the booth for the broadcasts, to everybody that watches these races both here and on my Twitch page. Also thanks to Matt Shanoski for the awesome paint on the truck this season. And yeah, we're ready to get after it.
Yeah, we definitely miss having Matt around. And third place finisher Kenny Kibbe, great run, and we'll talk to you in a month.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Paul, back to you.
Indeed, just taking a look at the finishing order one more time. Daddy-O Peters and Kibbe, the top 3. Messer Glessner, the top 5. Uhouse, Roy Bollier, Miller, and Salvatore. How about that? RSL TV up in the top 10. Here, a little preseason thunder. Bobby Ship, Adam Henry, Garrett Benson, Jason Ricker, Scott McDonald, the top 15. So some uncharacteristic runs towards the back for a handful of drivers, but all in all, one heck of a show here to kind of show what these drivers are able to do at a technical track here at like Darlington. And man, you said it, a month from 2 nights ago, October 17th, we get a little bit squirrely. We're going to be doing the X-Lander Design Daytona dual 25 lappers to set the field for the Daytona 60, the opening points race on October 24th, and then we get Halloween off the following week, and that's good because I'll actually be trick-or-treating down on Broadway in Nashville. Stay tuned for the social media outlets on that because that's going to be a lot of fun. We're working on the details on that. But Aaron, a great run here tonight, man. Daytona here in less than a month's time. We're going to be rocking and rolling with this truck series here shortly.
I'm pumped for it. We're going to be practicing using the right terms such as truck and tailgate and all those kinds of fun things. So I'm ready for it.
Yeah, gonna be a lot of fun. Gonna be pulling out some new tools and tricks here at VidaneTV. Still have that major announcement here as well that we've been kind of lurking in the background with. I guess you could call it big news coming out of the VidaneTV camp here. And, well, I got a feeling you'll know about it before October 17th. Let me just grab my Conway Customs Incorporated hat and slide that on real quick. Good stuff going on here at VidaneTV. Thank you guys so much for spending your Thursday night here with us this evening. Knocking the cobwebs loose, getting ready to kick things off with a great big old bang here in less than a month's time for the X-Lander duels at Daytona. Dual 25 lappers to set the field for the big time opening race here on the at Daytona for the big 60 lapper. We are still looking for series sponsors with NEP. We're still looking for sponsors here at VidaneTV as well. If you've got a little bit of an advertising budget, feel free to reach out with us, and we'll work with you. We'll find somewhere to put your logo all over the heckin' place, and we will entertain the masses. But for Aaron Creed, for Showtime, Paul Strickland Jr., and for Ashton Reiki, who's going to be helping us out later on down the road, we will catch you on the flip side. And when we do, we are going to be doing it live.